Well, today we're adding to the beach theme for the dollhouse by making a wonderful kind of aged, rustic looking welcome sign for next to the front door. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. Alright, so we're going to start by creating the boards we're going to make our sign board out of. This month we're going back to doing it with the little slim sticks or skinny sticks. You could use either. Little coffee stir sticks would probably work. And I've marked off 5 inches, which is kind of a tight fit on these guys, but it works. And I've already cut one. This month I decided to use 5 sticks instead of 4. That way my sign will look a little different. And if they're not perfectly the same length, we can remedy that in a couple of ways. Number one, we can sand them off to make them even once they're glued together, or we could just leave it a little more rustic, and I'll decide that when I get that far. Now I'm going to lay out these 5 sticks as close together as I can. I'm going to first, and this is just a regular size craft stick. Excuse me. I'm going to mark this a little bit narrower. I'm going about from this side to about halfway through that one. Because I want to, this is how we're going to fasten this together and give it some stability. And now I can use this to cut this off. I want to go. And I'm not sure why I only picked up 2 of my clamps. I'll have to go back off camera and get at least 1 more. So what I'm going to do is just lay these. These are going to be side by side. Make sure this is going to fit. And these little skinny slim sticks are not perfectly straight. That's kind of part of the character of them. They aren't straight. They are a little wonky, which makes the signs look a little on the rustic side. If you want them perfect, that's fine. Use some strip wood and cut some perfectly straight pieces. That's all up to you. I like the little wonky, well, that was great, little wonky bit, and I can, if I want to, I can sand off some spots of my paint, make it look a little aged. I don't want it to look new and pristine. I want it to look a little off. So I'm going to use, I have an extra one of these sitting here. I'm not going to use my clamps. I think I'm going to find something to lay on top of this. Or I might just hold it for a few minutes. So I'm going to hold this for just a few minutes until it wants to stay stuck together. And once that happens, I can either put a weight on top of it, or which I think is what I'm going to do instead of the clamps. I don't think this is going to clamp very well this morning. So I'm going to put a weight on this and let it dry. Once the glue is dried enough that we can work with it, we'll come back and give it a coat of paint. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, my glue is dried enough that we can kind of work on this now. So I am supporting this by holding on where it's glued. And I'm not going to even them out all the way, just a little bit. There. And this one has an interesting bend, and that's okay. We are going to, oops, I have 2 pieces of sandpaper there. Now I have some multi-surface folk art paint in Cayman Blue. This is some of the paint that Plaid sent me. Let's see, I don't think I can get my brush I'm going to use down in there. I will need to put this out on the tray. I thought this would be a nice beachy blue color. Oh yeah. And we're going to let that pretty blue paint dry, and when that's dry I'll come back and we will put our words on. Alright, here's our sign. It's painted, the paint is dry. I did go back and add a bead of glue right here and right here because it just felt a little loose when the paint got dry. So I'm going to take some sandpaper, and I kind of like this. I think that's kind of cool where it bends out like that. But I want to knock some of the paint off of this. I don't want this one to look quite this new. I want it to look like we've made it with older boards. Not a lot. I'm not going to go overboard on it. Definitely get the ends though. There. Now, I'm going to wipe it off with my hand. I should have brought a paper towel. In fact, I'm going to go grab a paper towel. I want to wipe that dust off. I'll be right back. All right, now wipe it off. And there's a lot of dust coming off in addition to what already came off on my hands. So once again this week, I've actually cut my wording with my Cricut. I know I did this I've done this the last couple of times. It's just that I've had my Cricut out quite a bit lately, and so it's convenient. I will try to do something else next time, but as you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know you can paint your letters, you could use stickers, you could rubber stamp them. Now I've got some transfer tape here. I've already weeded this, which means pulled off all the extra stuff off of it. But this it's a good quick way for me to get some really good letters. And then when you pull it back up, just make sure that your letters are coming with your transfer tape like that. E is trying to stay. There we go. And I watch this edge here to make sure that I'm peeling my letter off of the backing. And if I'm not, like that M is sticking, I go back and hit it with my fingernail a little bit. There we go. And the E, yes. All right. Now, and all the lettering and the shell design that I used here were all free images on the Cricut Design Space. So if you wanted to go in, you could very easily recreate this. If there's an interest in getting the file for this, let me know, and I will try to figure out how to make it a public file and put a link to it on the Facebook group. I think I'll limit that to over there. So let me know if you want the file. I know there's a way to make it so I can give you guys a link to it. I'm just rubbing it with my finger. And this time I don't care if my transfer tape pulls up some of my blue paint. That's fine on this one because we're aging this. Okay, come on. And the vinyl never really likes to stick to wood. It's better when it's painted, but it's a little harder to get it off the wood, to get it to stick to the wood. And also because all I can find in the white also was removable vinyl. And removable vinyl doesn't stick as well as permanent wood. So as I'm watching, and if I see that my letter is not staying where I want it to, like the E is starting to bend up, just go in with my fingernail. On something this small, your fingernails are probably your best tool for really rubbing where you need to. But yeah, you don't have to use your Cricut for this. You could definitely do the same thing with just stickers or with a paint pen. And I thought about using a real shell, but I didn't have time to get to the craft store. I saw some of these signs in real life that had used real shells down here for the O instead of a cutout. And I thought that would have been really cool, but I didn't have time to get to a store to get the shells. And that's one I don't want to buy online because I want to see what I'm getting on a little container of tiny shells. I want to make sure I'm getting shells that are small enough. Come on. The E seemed to be the letter that wants to not go down for me today. There. Just got to get off the bottom of that E. There we go. There. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead, and you can save your transfer foil if it doesn't roll all up in a ball for you like mine did. You could go through and like make cuts with a knife or something between the boards, which I think I'm going to. I'm going to use the back of my knife blade and kind of at least indent them in. I'm probably not going to completely cut through, but I'm going to kind of follow through there. Oops, well, that didn't work very well. Yeah, it's probably not going to work very well. All right, we've got that. So now I have some, oops, I got the wrong Mod Podge. Let me go get my matte Mod Podge. I picked up the wrong one. Oh, never mind, it's laying right here. That's why it wasn't over there. So I've got some matte Mod Podge. This is some of the Mod Podge that Cricut sent me, Plaid sent. All right, now to seal this, we're going to use some matte Mod Podge. This is some of that Plaid sent to me a while back. It's almost gone. I'm going to have to buy some more or get some more from them, one or the other. But I'm using matte Mod Podge. That will give this a little bit more of a finished look. It will also seal down those letters a little bit so they're not as apt to pop off. And it will just bring this whole thing together. So I'm going to catch that before it falls to the floor. I'm going to let this dry. And when this is dry, we will look at it on the front porch of the dollhouse. Well, there's our sign in place next to the front door of the dollhouse. I love how it looks very beachy and summery. I love how this is coming together for summer. If you enjoyed today's project, be sure and hit the like button, leave me a comment. What kinds of projects would you like to see for your dollhouse? Be sure and hop over to the blog and check out the photos and the further information I have over there. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.